Elgin, Illinois. 53 degrees. My puppy. So 53 degrees. Why am I so happy? Because, man, it was like 6 weeks ago. It was literally negative 30 out. That's an 83 degree differential. That's like it from going to 80 degrees to 163 degrees. That is why I'm so happy here. So beautiful. I'm just in a hoodie, my Ambrosia swag. And, you know, I just got the greatest post. Greatest thing said about me and my bar, the Outright Bar, by Steve Calabrese, the owner of Natural Body in New York. Probably our best retailer, right? Like, he moves through Outright Bars like nothing else. About how the Outright Bar, for him, has sold more bars within a year. Literally, have only been out since October. He's had it since mid-October. Then he did Quest in 7 years. And Quest, I admire those guys. They literally broke open a category and just did wonderful things, right? Really respect Quest. I respect the hell out of them. I just think that, you know, things progress, technology progresses, and thought progresses. And that's where the Outright Bar comes into play. And what he said was that basically, you know, we took something that, you know, was a concept into reality and made it taste really, really good. And let's be real here. The Outright Bar is not one of your meathead protein bars. It's not a 30 plus gram or even 20 gram protein bar. It's a 15 gram protein snack. And the reason for that is simple. It's not meant to be a muscle building meal. It's a snack. It's literally a snack with around 25 to 30 grams of fat, of carbohydrate, around 9 to 12 grams of fat, and 15 to 18 grams of protein. And when you get above the 20 gram mark, that's when parents, if let's say a kid's consuming it, is going to be like, hey, that is a lot of friggin' protein. Because when you see protein at 20 grams versus 15 grams for a little kid, you're like, that's a good amount of protein, right? So you want to kind of temper that. And also, let's be real. What really matters isn't the protein that meal, it's the protein throughout the day. So if you can't make up that 5 grams of protein some other time throughout the day, then your diet needs some work. So where did I come up with the idea for the Outright Bar? Well, on a selfish note, for me, I wanted a bar that I could eat pre-workout that didn't cause me to have gut bombs. While I love the taste, I loved everything about the Quest bar and the One bar, as long as they were fresh. You know, they tend to get really hard over time, where you could break them across the table, but I really liked them. But for me, not for everybody, they cause some gastrointestinal distress. So I wanted a bar that I could eat before training, because I found myself buying these vegan muffins from Costco with absolutely no protein and very little fat, because I like to nibble on something or have something right before the gym. And I'm already drinking my pre-workout, so I didn't want, you know, more shake. You know, I already eat a banana, but it's lacking protein, it's lacking fat. So I'd find myself taking spoonfuls of peanut butter before the house eating a bar on the way to the gym. So that kind of helped, but I'm still lacking that protein component, which I feel is vital, especially whey protein isolate, which I think is great, or whey protein in general. You know, I'm not one of those isolate only guys. I love concentrate. In fact, MTS Whey is a concentrate-based formula. And then we had another issue. We were literally spending, I'd say $100 on Z-bars from Cliff. Z-bar is not a bad bar. The second ingredient is brown rice syrup, which is sugar, but it was still based on whole oats, healthy ingredients. I can give it to my kids and feel good about it. Still lacked protein, but I kid you not, I probably spent over $1,000 on Z-bars last year, before the Outright Bar came out. Not kidding. We haven't touched it since, because why? But that's where we were. So there I was for 3 straight years, literally for over 3 years. I started 3 years ago at the Arnold Classic. I sampled out the original, the first version of the Outright Bar, based on different flours, almond flour, coconut flour, and whole wheat flour. It had about the same macronutrient ratio, about 10 grams of fat, 30 grams of carbs, and 15 protein. people tried it. You might have been one of the ones who tried it. Like, hey, you know, this is good for me, I'd eat it. But no one was blown away by the taste. I want, in today's market, going up against Quest and One, which are phenomenal tasting. Then you got the dessert bars, which aren't even, like Fit Crunch. Even if the macros aren't a lie on the label, even if their label claims are fake, well, I'm not saying they are. Let's say they're lying on their label, it's still horrible macros. Like, they're not good, you know what I mean? So you're going up against Chef Irvine and Bakery Barn, you know, I'm not gonna say anything more about them. Basically, they make things taste pretty damn good. So I had to come up with a bar that not only fit my macronutrient needs and my nutritional needs, but in order to sell, I needed it to taste as good or better than Quest, One, Fit Crunch, and all those other fly-by-night Bakery Barn products, right? So I went to the drawing board. And after that bar, after the initial feedback came back is okay, it's not good enough. Okay is not what I do. I didn't get this successful in business by being okay. MTS Way isn't just okay, it's mind-blowing. So I went back to the drawing board. I wanted something that would fit a hard training, bodybuilder, amateur boxer, fit dad, soccer mom, my wife, and I also needed something that my kids can take between games at soccer tournaments. I needed something perfect. There's nothing in this world that's that perfect that hits all those markets, all those touch points, right? I hope you really like this video. It goes into my past. It goes into how I did it, why I did it, some of my visions and thought processes while doing it. Also talks about things from institutional racism to how to overcome them. This is what really goes through my head on a daily basis, and why I decided to film my walks now that winter's over and me and Ruckus get some fresh air every day. So I want to give you a coupon code. The coupon code is DOGWALK, 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 and it'll get you 10% off Ambrosia Mental Jewels. Mental Jewels, in my opinion, is the greatest cognitive formula ever created. It allows you to think clearer. It allows your brain to operate more efficiently. Helps for better memory production. I mean, it's just an absolute great thing to have. So the coupon code is DOGWALK, and you get it off of Mental Jewels. If you go to the description box below, I'll have a link to it for you. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video. So I had this concept, and I met with all the big bakery companies. I met with all the big bar companies. Most of them, not all of them. I'm sure somebody's around here, I own a bar company, you never met with me. Well, I met with some, okay? I met with at least one dude, and I gave him what I wanted. And they said, it can't be done. I remember sitting in one meeting, I said, we put a man on the moon. You're telling me we can't make a bar moist and delicious without glycerin, without prebiotic fiber, without a load of sugar alcohols? They said, no, not with those macros. And I said, well, I appreciate your time, but it's not worth it for me. I kept looking and looking and looking and talking to everybody, and sure enough, through a good friend of mine, through his help, we were able to find a bakery that was able to sustain the concept of the outright bar. And with that, we went to work. And this is July of last year. We figured it out, literally figured it out on the way to my boxing match in Ohio. And there it was. Prototypes came in, nailed it. Launched the Olympia from conception to launch without cases, without boxes. We launched it as single bars only. Literally, stores were buying baskets from Big Lots to be able to display it. Launched it at the Olympia. And here we are. It's now mid-March. It is the hottest bar on the market. But it came from a dream. It came from an idea that people said was not possible. It came from a goal that, who would have thought of that, right? Think about how absurd it is to want a perfect snack to fit the needs of a hardcore bodybuilder, an athlete, professional athletes, youth athletes, people who don't even train, soccer moms, and do it in a way that makes everyone's taste buds smile. And we haven't. So why am I telling you this story? To brag? Maybe a little bit. It does feel good talking about it. And I don't think I've ever told that story on a video. One reason is because it's kind of like branch chains. The intra-workout category. I saw so much by supplementing branched amino acids during my training, choking down these nasty things, because there was some obscure data on wrestlers, and noticing I'm gaining lean mass, I'm losing fat, I'm training harder, I'm recovering better. Extend, when we popularized the pre-workout, the intra-workout category at Scivation, Extend was the same way. People said it was worthless. Oh, people just drink Crystal Light and Gatorade during training, or just drink water. And we're like, no, wait, we got something much better. Like, dude, it's not gonna work. A couple people realized it would work. Okay, Bill Phillips from EAS was sitting down with Eric Hillman, Stephen Adelaide, and they were talking about what's hot and up and coming in the industry. I heard this story from Stephen Adelaide. And Eric Hillman said, you know, Marc Lobliner has this branched chain amino acid thing, and I think that's going to be the next big thing in the industry. And I believe somebody, I don't know which one of them, chuckled and said, branched chains, you're out of your mind. Myself, alongside one of the greatest teams, second to the team I have now, ever created, went out. It took us 3 years of not selling anything. In fact, 1 year, we couldn't even give Extend away. We were selling it for $5 for a 30 serving at the Arnold Classic, and people were still trying to negotiate price. I shit you not. This was in 2005 or 2006 this happened. The intra-workout category, including EAA, BCAA, intra-workout blends with carbs, etc., is a multi-$100 million industry right now. And it was because my team, including myself, had the balls to believe in something. And despite the fact we lost money for a few years, despite the fact that I had to travel 300 plus days a year in a Toyota Corolla, stuffed to the roof with cases of Extend to give to people, talk to everybody I could. Literally gyms with 2 people in it in a little seminar. This is before social media, by the way. And we didn't have social media. I couldn't just make a video on YouTube like I'm doing now, right? Like this video, this didn't exist. We had message boards, definitely not as hard-hitting as social media. We refused to give up. We believed in it that much. And at about year 3, we hit a tipping point, and boom. You know, I sold Scivation in 2011. You guys saw that series, and Scivation then sold to Cellucor, who owns them now, or Nutrabolt, the holding company for Cellucor. So, bottom line is, guys, I'm not saying follow a dream that can't be attained, but I'm saying a lot of people give up on it. A lot of people give up on their goals. If you feel something, if you feel about something so strong that it eats at your every thought of the day, that it drives you, it impassions you, then you need to just keep at it. You need to go for it. I was told when I played football, I was too short. I was undersized. I trained for 6 hours a day, and while I never actually played it down in college, football, which was my main goal with playing football, football was my way to get a degree because it got me the financial aid I needed to go to college. Okay, I didn't give up. I knew that if I trained hard enough, I could be good enough. And I didn't say no. While I didn't get recruited by Notre Dame or Florida State, at the end of the day, the chances of going from college to the NFL are minimal. I used football for what it was for me. And that's a ticket into college, to get out of the streets, you know, to move on from the situation I was in with a mom who was a drug addict and a father who was sick, you know, to get out of trouble, to potentially one day provide a great, prosperous life for my family, and hopefully generational wealth, which we're well on the way to. So That's something else. Bodybuilding. I was told I have shitty structure. And they were right. I don't have the best body for bodybuilding. I was told that, I'm blocky. My arms are too small for my back and my chest. My calves are too small for my quads and my hams. Basically, I was told I was just a piece of shit bodybuilder. While I'm no Phil Heath and I'm no Kai Green, no Sean Roden, I became the best Marc Lobliner I could be. And that was enough to get a pro card. So I followed that dream as well. I haven't done that much in life compared to greats. LeBron James, Bill Gates, Kobe Bryant. Great athletes, great businessmen of all time. I'm not even a flea on their ass in this world. But where I came from, what I've become, is just a testament to something that I couldn't learn in school. But I learned from a young age that you have to fight and you have to work and nothing's given to you and you have to go take it. And guess what? Life isn't fair. You know what? I'm going to say it right now and I might piss some people off. Institutional racism exists. Hell, you could be a Jew living in a Protestant community. They might not like you. You might be a Protestant living in a Jewish community. They might not like you. You might be a white guy living in Compton. They might not like you. You be a black man living in most friggin' places in this country. They might look at you a bit differently or think a bit less of you. Human nature. People are jerks. There are going to be racist people. There are going to be assholes. They might be your boss. They might be your teacher. They might be your principal. They might be a cop. They might be a criminal. Who knows? I was getting a ride from an Uber driver through Chicago to the airport from my house. Told me about, this guy migrated here from Antigua, an island in the Caribbean. And if you go outside the tourist shit, it's pretty dangerous. And he came here, and his main fear was white people. Believe it or not. He was scared of white people because all he has there is black people, right? I love talking to Uber drivers, by the way. I don't know if you all like me, but if you are like me, comment down below. And basically, so here's what happened. He goes and he had a cousin out here or something that needed some help moving. They live down by Cabrini Green, which is south side of Chicago. Complete shithole. Speaking of shithole, it's time to pick up some shit. He gets attacked. He gets out to ask for directions. He gets attacked by a group of 4 black people. He was amazed. He was shocked. He didn't know what to think. All this time he was afraid of white people. He ends up getting jumped by black people. Long story short, he fights him off. Basically he just gets a broken glass in his car and a couple bruises. And he's on his way, right? But it taught him a lesson. It taught me a lesson by listening to this man. That's why I always need to listen to people. That there's evil in this world. And evil knows no color. Evil knows no gender. Evil knows no weight, height, look. Dude, some of my friends, nicest people in the world, are the meanest looking people there are. Big Rob did it, man. Guy's like 6'3", 280 pounds. He's literally the nicest guy I've ever met in my life, right? You can't judge a book by its cover, right? So the bottom line is, life isn't fair. This poor guy came here legally from Antigua, gets jumped by thugs in Cabrini Green, right? That's not fair. So he came here, very little money, Now he's driving Uber just to make extra money, making over 6 figures a year at JP Morgan Stanley up in Chicago. He just does the driving thing. Man, there are white trash in this neighborhood. He just does. That guy's mean to his dog. Don't leave your dog outside on a leash, dummy. Get a fence. Hate when people chain their dogs up. It's not my thing. So here's the deal. If a man, a black man, and I'm not, again, I had this conversation with my business partner, Mike Rashid, from Ambrosia. If a black man Wait, no, that's not where I'm going. Hold on. Institutional racism exists. Period. Mike and I will discuss things and take positions we might not even agree with ourselves. Institutional racism is there. It is. Absolutely. Might not always be against blacks, might not always be about Hispanics, might not always be about whites, but institutional racism exists. Absolutely. It's what you do about it, because we can't change it. It's like I said, I don't get involved in political discussions on Facebook because I've never seen anybody change their mind due to a Facebook post. And honestly, I live in Illinois. Doesn't matter if vote red or blue, a Democrat's gonna win. So why am I even wasting my breath and losing friends over it? At the end of the day, everybody has their reasons. Everybody wants what's best for the country, right? We just have different ideas how to get there. Some people, like that Cortez person from New York, she thinks the best way is universal everything. Take from the rich, give to the poor. Standard living wage. Guess what? I don't think she's doing that because she's evil. I think she's doing that because she sincerely thinks that that's the best way to go about fixing things. I believe capitalists, especially those who aren't multi-billionaires, truly believe that people can do like I did and work their way out of a shitty situation. Because capitalism is basically, the theory is, the harder you work, the more you make. And in my experience, that's absolutely correct. But again, other people might have tried and failed. So in their experience, capitalism is not the way to go. It comes down to personal experience. So I get this question all the time, Mark, I'm starting a business, what should I know? Be realistic. You need to be able to pay your bills. If you can start your business while having a main job and do it as a side job and waiting until it makes enough money to sustain, do that. However, sometimes fight or flight's the way. I've known people who've worked 24 hours a day. Well, 21, they slept for 3. Because if they didn't do it, they'd starve. They had to. But it's all about that drive. Humans are amazing creatures. We are the most intelligent species on this earth, period. The reason we dominate this earth, we couldn't beat a lion in a fight. We can't run over an elephant with our arms. You can't fight a bear unless you're Vladimir Putin, right? The reason we are the most dominant and we're at the top of the food chain is because of this. Because this dog poop. No, because this brain. God, the creator, evolution, whatever your belief system, instilled in us this wonderful brain that does so many things. So many things. So, with that said, guys, I really appreciate you watching this. Hopefully this gives you some insight to my feelings on what humans can do, to how I came up in this world from 0 to where I'm at now. Not going to say hero because that's lame as shit. And also, just want to state for the record, saw some mean YouTube comments, and the worst one was that I don't have the best dog in the world. Ruckus is the best dog in the world. If you have a problem with that, we're going to have to throw some hands. All right, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, go ahead, throw it a like, subscribe, and know that Cardio Confessions are back. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. That's not a game.